Hello, my name is Susie, and it is my honor to share how gentle birth changed my life. Not to be over dramatic, but I just didn't know how much of a mental overhaul I needed. And I didn't even fathom how much of a mental overhaul was possible until I used this program. I had my first child without it, and I had felt prepared with the support of my husband. We took a 2-hour class for labor prep from the hospital, but I just did not have the experience or the insight to know how vital mental and emotional preparation was. It ended up being an induction, 50 hours, an unplanned C-section, and to be honest, it left me a little traumatized. I knew we wanted to continue to expand our family, but I did not know how I was going to get past those fears and the depression and the negativity. I have struggled with mental health on and off my whole life. Generalized anxiety, situational depression. I've been in and out of therapy, but it was really my postpartum therapist, who I want to give a lot of credit to. She helped me confront some of these bigger issues, and she put me on the path to better health, which involved not only processing what happened, but also seeking out a doula and finding the gentle birth program to get ready for my second child. I remember my first emotional breakthrough came from watching a birthing video in a gentle birth class that my doula was offering, and the woman in this video was absolutely calm and centered and just breathed her baby out. It seemed effortless, and I started crying, and I had to leave the room from the class. I didn't think it was possible. I didn't think I could do it. I was just very worked up, and I began noticing these feelings and these narratives that my brain was feeding me, and I finally began to question those lies that my brain was providing. So I used the guided meditation tracks from the app twice a day for the last 6 months of my pregnancy. I learned self-awareness. I learned healthier self-talk. Therapy had started to teach me these skills, but it wasn't until I had the Gentle Birth app that I really practiced them, and I came to appreciate that they were that self-awareness, mindfulness is a skill that takes discipline, practice, repetition, and I was able to get that daily moment of practice thanks to the guided meditation tracks. I began to feel confident. I began to notice these thoughts more easily and less judgmentally. So the victory of my second birth was not the fact that I had an 8-hour unmedicated VBAC, though that did feel amazing, and it was very empowering to be mindfully present in each moment, to observe my sensations without judgment. I feel very, very good about all that, but I think the bigger victory is the peace that I felt, the preparedness that I had. I didn't fear failure. I didn't think I was a failure anymore. I was prepared and at peace with whatever the outcome would be. Maybe I would have needed a repeat C-section. I would have been able to handle that without being traumatized. And I mean, there were complications in my second birth. I had the birth of my dreams, despite the fact that it ended with a hemorrhage, with 2 hours of sulcus tear repair surgery, a 2-unit transfusion of blood. But I wasn't even bothered. I remember in the postpartum recovery room, a nurse casually made a rather insensitive joke about oh, look, you got a VBAC, but you still ended up in surgery. Oh, that's funny. What a bummer. And if I were in the fragile place that I had been in years past, that might have broken me. I would have internalized shame. I would have been really guilty. But I didn't care. I wasn't bothered by the fact that there were complications. I want to mention also that these skills, these confident, mindful skills transferred seamlessly into my mothering, into my breastfeeding, into my recovery, and into my pelvic floor physical therapy, which I highly recommend to everyone. And especially into my return to exercise. These gentle birth skills that I used in pregnancy for labor prep were continuing to help me as I was getting back on the treadmill, walking, not running, taking my time, doing interval training. I was able to be gentle with myself. I was able to be patient. I have a different relationship with my body now. I have a different relationship with my mind, and I owe a lot of that confidence to gentle birth, and I'm very, very thankful.